What's the best way to start a vlog? Especially when you have no subscribers. Create a virtual reality in which you can speed. How does that sound, YouTube? We're in virtual reality right now. Gotta go fast. Ready? Here we go. Back to regular reality. So hi, I'm Chad, and this is my first motovlog. This is something I've been wanting to do for a very, very long time. Really since before I started riding, actually. I'll get into that story in just a moment, but just to give you a little bit of detail about myself. Hi, I'm Chad. I'm 25 years old, and I live in Southern California, particularly South Orange County, Irvine area. I've been in SoCal my whole life. I grew up in Huntington Beach, lived there for 22 and a half years. Did your whole standard stuff. Went to high school, went to college, Cal State Fullerton alumni. Graduated in 2016 with a bachelor's in business administration. An emphasis on operations, management, and supply chain. Not that that's really relevant because I'm in sales now. So kind of on the other end of that, on the other side. Been down here in South County for I think 8 months now. We were living in Costa Mesa before. My beautiful, amazing, lovely girlfriend, Hillary, shared a place with my best friend Sean and his girlfriend Jenna. And we lived there for a year, and that was a blast. Had a great time. And welcome to South County. Green Huracan right there, lowered, very nice. I like cars. This is kind of a good place to start. So, oh, but that Huracan, yummy. God, that thing is so low. Holy crap. Started off riding skateboards. That was the first thing I really loved. I skated for like the first, from the time I was like 9 until about 17, 18, I was pretty into it, very serious. That was like my goal. I wanted to be a pro skater, and I hurt myself a couple times, knocked myself out, had a seizure, woke up in the hospital once. Quite a bummer. So after that, I just kind of moved on. A little bit before that, like when I was 16, you know, learning how to drive, and got into cars. Just always loved the feedback, the feeling you get from being behind the wheel of something like that. Absolutely loved it. A couple years after that, I was into like Formula 1 racing, motorsport. I realized like how awesome like race cars, fast cars, sports cars are, and that was kind of the thing that I really loved. But it cost so much money. They cost a lot of money. So I discovered motorcycles, I think I was like 18, 19, somewhere around there. And I finally like kind of started to pay attention. So before that, you know, I'd see some screamy little R6 or something and just be like, wow, dude, sweet crotch rocket, man, I'd kill myself if I rode one of those. And just kind of accepted it as that. But when I was about 18, I finally started to take an interest in them. Partially, I was going to school. I was at a community college and I wasn't working. I'm like bumming gas money off my parents to drive to school and stuff. I'm just kind of over it. And I'm like, what if I sold my car and got a 250? 70 miles per gallon, costs like 15 bucks to fill up the tank, and it'd be fun. Pitched that to my mom. She said she was going to kick me out if I brought a motorcycle home. Well, sorry mom, but I brought a motorcycle home. That was a while ago though. I've been riding for about 4 years, a little over 4 years. My first bike was a 2003 CBR 600RR. I had that bike for a year and a half. Learned how to ride on that bike basically. Before that, I had taken the MSF course to get my license. I'd ridden a little Yamaha 125 dirt bike on my friend's dad's front yard in the desert. And I'd ridden a Husky 450 on knobbies on the street right after I got my motorcycle license. So that that was the extent of my riding experience. I got on the Honda. It's kind of small, but it was a good feeling. Easy bike to ride, very confidence inspiring, despite it being, you know, at the time, that was 2013, so it was a 10-year-old bike. Had old suspension with, you know, like conventional forks where the body's down at the, mounting to the wheel. It was heavy for a 600. It was like 450 pounds. My friend Chandler's R1 weighed less than that. So it was good though. Good experience. I put a little over 10,000 miles on that bike just over the course of that year and a half, including a lot of canyon riding. So that was where I got my start, and that was where I learned how to ride. Finally, I think 11 months into riding, I did my first track day at Chuckwalla on my 600, and oh my god, I loved it. It was the best, absolute best. I was like, from this point on in my life, this is all I want. Track days are the best. So, because I was, you know, riding like pretty quickly. I'm not fast by any means, but I'm not slow either. I rode B group for a really long time. Actually did the new racing school with Track Daz and got my competition license back at the end of 2016. And you had to ride in the advanced group all day for that. So I'm like slow advanced group, but can still hang. And I'm not like at the point where I'm like, you know, causing problems for people that are actually fast. Or I'm like mid to upper B group. So it's kind of where I'm at. So I got my competition license. I wanted to go race. That was my big goal this for shoot, no, we're in 2018 now. That was last year's goal. Yeah, it didn't really work out. I went to my first track day of the year after not going for 4 months. High-sided first session of the day. Seriously bruised my femur and my tibia. Had a compression fracture of my cuboid bone because I have the, you probably can't see them, the Dainese axial pro-ins, which are a carbon fiber endoskeleton. So when I hit the ground, the carbon fiber wasn't going to give, something had to, and that ended up being my bone. So my fifth metatarsal is 2 millimeters permanently dislocated, and it got slammed into my cuboid bone and fractured it. On top of that, I sprained both my ankles and my left wrist. So that was pretty rough. And then back then I had just graduated from school, and I just taken a couple months off. I was doing valet. Valet, by the way, if you're 18 or, yeah, I think you have to be 18. But if you're 18, if you're young, you're still in college, and you like cars, that is a job for you. I did really, really well doing valet while I was in college. I really hope that like one of these days some kid that sees me on a bike is gonna like think back and remember that time he saw me on the bike, and of course he's not gonna know who I am, but he's gonna be like, that was when I wanted to ride a motorcycle. That was when I made that decision. Anyways, back to my story. The whole track thing. I wanted to go race, but after that kind of wrecked me because I fixed my bike. I did all the work myself. It was all cosmetic, but I mean, still costed a couple $1,000s. My knee was totally screwed. My foot was broken, so I was off the bike for like 2 months. I was out of work for about 2.5 and just living off my savings. So, and I've just been trying to recoup since then. I'm really trying to get back out to the racetrack. I need to lose a little bit of weight first. Being crippled for a couple months and having nothing better to do than just hang out with your best friend and drink because you guys are roommates just kind of ruined me a little bit. Those are the goals for this year. Lose some weight, get a new race suit, and get back out to have enough money in the bank where I'm comfortable going back out to the racetrack. Anyways, that's kind of my story, the short gist of it. Right now I work, I'm in inside sales, business to business. I sell circuit board components, like little chips, integrated circuits, memory, capacitors, resistors, switches. Oh, can't make a U-turn here. That'd be bad. Any and all kind of components that have to do with transmitting electricity to and from and on a a PCB. So I sell it in bulk, and that's what I do. I have a base salary and commission. It's been really hard because I had zero sales experience coming into this. It's a very competitive industry, so it's difficult to always win business, but it's good. I have a very good mentor. He's very hard on me, which not exactly the way I do best. I like to have a little bit more compassion and like encouragement, and he's a little more of a hard ass, but it is what it is. He's been in the industry for many years and has a lot of experience and knowledge and wisdom, so it's good to be under his wing. Well, that's pretty much where I'm at. I love motorcycles, obviously. I'm riding one, and I don't really think there's a lot of people that ride motorcycles if they don't love them. I'm kind of shocked if there were any. I'm sure there's always an exception though. But I absolutely love bikes, motorsport. I like cars too still. Bikes, I'd say, have obviously a little bit more precedence than cars do. A little more importance and significance to me, but I still love cars. My first car was a 2003 Mitsubishi Eclipse GS. I had that car for like almost 6 years, and it was the slowest thing. It was probably about as fast as that Beetle is, unless that Beetle's got some sick STI swap or something. But it was like 150 horsepower, I think, if that. It was a 5-speed, so I learned how to drive stick and everything. Got comfortable with that. That transitioned pretty well into riding. I picked it up pretty quick, just like shifting gears and everything. And just the idea of, like, you know, knowing where you need to be in the rev range to get what kind of power or what kind of fuel economy, etc., etc. But of course, there's some cool tricks you can do on a motorcycle that you can't, or you can do in a car, but not as easily, like clutchless upshifting, clutchless downshifting. Launching, obviously a lot different because you just roast the clutch on a bike, whereas if you do that with a car, you're probably not going to have a clutch afterwards. I had the Eclipse, learned, you know, the basics of driving, a little bit of canyon driving with that, which prepared me for going up on the bike, going up on the Honda when I had that, and used to do like GMR and Highway 39, Azusa Canyon. I think it's St. Gabriel Canyon is what it's called. Like the last third of that is so much fun because you don't have to go super fast. It's like you can take second gear the whole way up, but it's still fun. You can get pretty leaned over, dragging me a little bit. It's cool. It's a good time. But I had the Eclipse for almost 6 years. I got the Honda in the midst of that. Not in the midst, but I think I had the Eclipse for 2 more years after I got the Honda, and then I'm a big rotary fan. I really love rotary engines. I think they're really cool. I like it because it's a different solution to the same problem, but obviously there are a lot of drawbacks to them in comparison to a piston engine. But I still think they're really cool. I had a friend that had an RX-8 a long time ago, and I always talked smack. Oh dude, internet says you're gonna throw out a seal, haha, blow some seals out, engine's gonna explode. And he was like, just drive it, dude. I drove it, it's amazing. One of the funnest cars I've ever driven. So I bought one. I've had that car for almost 3 years. It's a 2007 RX-8. Subtle little mods, got a cold air intake and exhaust, that's it. No tune or anything, but I love it. It's my daily. And it's a fun car to have. I mean, I've taken it up to the canyon before. I did a track day with it at the Auto Club actually at the end of last year. That was a lot of fun. First time I'd ever done a track day in a car. But yeah, I love it. But motorcycles are definitely a couple steps above that. Back to the bike thing. Yeah, my first bike, 2003 CBR 600RR. Put about 10,000 miles on that bike. Sold it to some dude, picked this up the next day. This is her name's Emma. My Honda's name was Sally. Emma's a 2006 Triumph Daytona 675. I've put about a little over 10,000 miles on her. About 800 of those miles have been on the track. I did about 200 on the Honda, so I've got over 1,000 miles on a racetrack. That's pretty good, I'd say. About 5% of my riding's been on a racetrack. It's kind of cool statistic. Daytona is a great bike. I was looking to go in for an R6 when I was trading up from the Honda. Just the Honda is, you know, it was a great bike, and I mean, I think it was going to run forever, but I wanted something that was a little bit more modern suspension, a little bit lighter, a little more power. Honda is a little notorious for dogging their bikes a little bit on the power. I'm assuming that's to improve longevity and reliability. Make the most sense, but I'm not positive. But yeah, I think the Honda was like 118 horsepower, something like that, 117. This is 123 or 125, but because it's a triple instead of the inline 4, it makes like an extra 10 foot-pounds of torque, and the mid-range power is ridiculous. The Honda, you need to be over like 9 or 10 grand to get it moving. This thing you can be over like 6, 7, you'll be good. Pull pretty strong. So when I first got into bikes, you know, after a little while I started seeing people like Chase on Two Wheels, Motovlogger, Fairmont Grumble on YouTube. Started watching those guys, and I thought it was really cool that they just, you know, rode around with a camera on their helmet, making conversation against people that were going to respond later. I thought it was pretty cool, and it's just a cool way to interact, I think. So I always wanted to give it a shot, and I just never wanted to cough up the cash for a GoPro. But my lovely girlfriend Hillary surprised me with this one. This is a Hero Session 5, or Hero 5 Session, I think that's how you say it correctly. But she surprised me with this, so now I'm vlogging. What's up? But something I've always wanted to do. Always liked the idea of it. Always thought I'm kind of a funny person. It might be worth listening to, I suppose. I've got a lot of knowledge about all this stuff, about bikes, about cars, about the mechanics behind it, fixing stuff, cool tips and tricks. So I figured I'd just share those with everybody that decides to watch. Because it's I love it. I love teaching people too. So feel free to correct me if my information's not spot on. I'll defend myself to the best, but if you're right, you're right. And if I'm right, I'm right. There's only truth. Dope. Oh, this might be a prime opportunity to go fast. I think this is going to be a prime opportunity to go fast. This is a 100% prime opportunity to go fast. Yeah, we're gonna do it. Ready, everybody? That was for you guys. That was virtual reality again, by the way. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe if you like. If you don't like, tell me why you didn't. Give me some feedback. I'm open to suggestions. If you got a topic you think I should cover, let me know. I'm open to suggestions. Until next time, later. Nice M3, sir.